All I got is missed calls on my line, yeah. Never seen a pick up right on time, yeah. If I don't call back, leave me alone.
What's up, guys? Welcome into episode 127 of the Missed Call podcast. This is Cut from the Keys, and as always, with me is Saucer Tori. Are you? Hold on. Is that what I think it is?
It's exactly what you think it is, dude. It is exactly what you think it is. Tell the listeners what I'm wearing. Tell them what I'm wearing.
For the people that are listening to us via Spotify, Apple Podcast, and not for some reason not watching on YouTube, Sauce is wearing a black hoodie. Hair looks phenomenal, but the hoodie, I mind you, it's the Missed Call hoodies, baby. They're in. You thought they weren't real.
Yeah, you
real.
thought it was a money scam. You thought we were fire festing this shit. Wrong.
You thought I was telling you, hey, 2 weeks, I promise, and then it was be like 4 weeks, be like, you never heard from me ever again. The podcast ended. I just took all your money.
He's like, we got to figure out how to make money some way, man.
Like, dude, we're gonna change the podcast name. We're just gonna scrap it all and turn it into something else.
Let me say, I picked them up from Mike over at Grit Clothing Co. this morning. They all look phenomenal. All the sizes look great. And, you know, the thing about it that I love is the inside are like fleece lined. They're nice and fuzzy on the inside. But you know how sometimes you'll buy a hoodie from somewhere and they get really tight at the bottom and really tight at the sleeves and it looks real poofy? Like it just looks like a cheapy hoodie. You know what I mean? It doesn't look nice. This is the opposite of that. These are great hoodies, $45. We have stock if you need to buy one. Make sure you get in on it. And we'll be doing some contests and stuff like that too. But this is awesome.
And I'm in the Keys. So
and you don't have one yet. Yeah.
I gotta wait till my birthday.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Let's quickly run over. Make sure you follow us at Call Podcast on all social media. On YouTube, we are the Missed Call Podcast. Like and subscribe over there. Tell your friends, tell your family. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, I am Sauce Sartori.
Cubwood. Just type in Cubwood. You'll find it.
Just type in Cubwood. There's only one.
There's only one. One of one.
Episode 127. Huge show today. We've got maybe one of the best guests we've ever had on the show, Mason Brooks, the right tackle for the Western Kentucky football team. An all-out phenomenal interview.
It's a banger.
It is. It's 45 minutes of some of the best content we maybe have ever put together. An absolute banger of an interview, but we've got some segments, some sports stuff to get into beforehand. So let's jump straight into that. Cub, you know, on top of us being a podcast that is dedicated to the brand of thick athletes, we are also a platform for women in sports. It's something that we do here, something that we love to do here at the Missed Call Podcast. And we would be remiss if we did not talk about the weekend for women in sports. Sarah Fuller becoming the first woman in Power 5 football history to make an appearance and play in the game as a kicker. Let's dive into this. Let's talk about it.
We also cannot forget to mention Kaylee Brownson, the tight end coach for the Browns. First woman to be positioned as a position coach in the NFL.
Yeah.
All I got to say is I have yet to look at a single comment from all these posts about these two amazing people that have just blessed the sports world and impacted so many lives that these small-minded people will never understand what these people are really doing. And then, sure enough, I go on TikTok. This could be like my grinding gear and best thing I saw. So,
well, it's an important conversation.
Yeah, it's important.
The best thing that we saw clearly was the weekend that women in sports had.
Yes, that's the gist.
But there's more to it.
Yes. What I'm saying is I was trying to avoid it to not upset myself with what was going on and just enjoy the moment as everyone else should and ignore the ignorant people. Then I go on TikTok and there are so many. And the dumbest video I saw was about the Buffalo running back who had all those yards. Incredible game. Incredible performance by him. And they're like, well, how come she won Player of the Week instead of him? Keep in mind, Sarah
She
Fuller.
won Didn't she win SEC Special Teams Player of the Week?
She won SEC Player of the Week, and that guy plays in the MAC.
Wasn't that Special Teams Player of the Week too?
It doesn't matter. The guy played in the MAC.
Right. Well,
Shut up.
The thing is, Cub, and I say this a lot, is there are a lot of people out there who just don't know much about sports. And that's okay. You don't have to know everything
That's
about
where
sports.
we come in. This is where we come in.
But even more so than that, if you don't know about something, shut your mouth. Because that is a clear statement of ignorance. You don't know.
And it says
you have no
right
idea.
there. He just skipped the word. SEC.
Right. And I'll say this. So I did look into the comments just because I wanted to make sure that what I thought was going to be. Does that make sense? So I checked out some of the comments on Twitter, and it was exactly what I thought it was going to be.
No one cares. No one cares. No one cares.
No one cares. Back in the kitchen. I hope that she has to try to tackle somebody. I hope that she gets tackled by a 300-pound defensive tackle. All these things, right? Let me just say, and we get accused all the time of pandering to the audience or whatever. Fuck that. This is real shit. This was a big moment in sports. Yeah, people come at us with like, "Oh, you only
yeah.
You only do this because, you're hitting on them, or because, it's for views and you can make money." That's not the case. I do this, and we don't get paid. I'm not making money off of this. Let me just say, back to the point. If you are somebody who wished ill upon Sarah Fuller this weekend, or upon Kaylee Brownson, if you wished ill upon either one of those individuals, you are a fucking weirdo. You're a fucking weirdo. That's weird.
And then I saw one where it's like she kicked a 37-yard squib kick. Did she really deserve this, or was this just woke culture giving people trophies?
It was a designed squib kick.
And then Sarah Fuller, what a little badass. Showing that clip of her kicking the ball to the other side of the field from when she was playing soccer.
Oh, yeah.
What a
Keep
badass.
in mind, this is an SEC champion soccer player. Like, she is a legit athlete. And it's almost comical anymore how unoriginal people are and how spiteful they are towards women in sports. I think it's stupid. And I'm even willing to say, if you're one of those people who made the comments, who made the jokes on social media, took your time out of your own life to type out the message and hit send, stop listening now. Just stop listening to our podcast. We don't need you. If you're going to be closed-minded about it, we don't need you. We'd rather have a really pure listener base. And I truly mean that. But if you're with the brand and if you're for women in sports, we fuck with you. We fuck with you.
We FW you hard, brother and sister. The thing that I'm looking at it, like, people are looking at it like this is like a side attraction. Like, hey, we're 0-9 or whatever. We're going to put a girl in. I don't think Vanderbilt has the time to deal with all that, and just adding her was like, if they're not going to put her on the team if she wasn't worthy of being on the team. Right. And also, that coach is now fired. Or yeah, he got fired.
Well, and to all of the haters who thought it was just a publicity stunt and the coach trying to keep his job, the interim coach has declared that Sarah Fuller will continue to kick for the Vanderbilt football team through at least next week against Georgia.
Not to skip ahead, but Sarah Fuller, you could be on the fake taxi, just an honorary one.
Yeah,
fake taxi.
True. Yeah, Sarah Fuller, fake taxi, and best thing we saw this week. Quickly, for me, best thing I saw this week has to be dad texts. My dad slapped me in the face with one of the most beautiful dad texts I've ever seen. I'm trying to find it in my phone right now. But okay.
The one you sent me? Is it the one you sent me?
Yes. Okay. So I think it was Monday morning, maybe it was Friday morning of last week, he texted me and he said, Shree O'Neal, spelled O'Neal the wrong way, Shree O'Neal made his debut for LSU last night, scored 3 points. Yes, Shax, period, space, son, period. Shax is spelled S-H-A-C-K-S. What the text actually meant was, hey, Shaq's son, Sharif, made his debut for LSU last night. And I said, I don't even know what I replied to him, but I mean, that is a peak dad text.
Shout out to Shex.
Shout out to Shree O'Neal.
Shout out to Shex.
Shout out to Shree O'Neal. Okay, grinding our gears. We kind of said that it could have been the idiots that are against Sarah Fuller and women in sports. We could say those dum-dums, but we've got more to say than just that. Cub, what's grinding your gears this week?
The Broncos not having a quarterback this past weekend due to COVID, and they all got exposed. Would they have 24 hours, right, Sauce, to, like, figure out who their quarterback was?
They had some time, yeah.
24 hours. Someone got mad that they didn't sign Kaepernick, and that just made me mad. Like, every time, like, there's I get the whole thing. I get it. But, like, every time a quarterback gets hurt or something, you don't have to just be unoriginal and be like, oh, he called Kaepernick.
Right.
It's been forever. Let it
Well,
go.
And even to that point, they couldn't sign Kaepernick, right?
They couldn't even use their coach. They couldn't even use their coach.
He would have to use 2 weeks. He would have to spend 2 weeks in quarantine before he could even join the team. So there was no way with 24 hours or 48 hours notice for them to bring in a free agent quarterback. That is why they used a guy off of their practice squad who was a quarterback in college at Wake Forest.
Mm-hmm.
They used him instead of a free agent quarterback because they had to. It had nothing to do with, oh, this is more blackballing of Colin Kaepernick. It was simply they could not do it. My gear grinder also is about the NFL. Now, as we speak, we're recording. This is Wednesday afternoon at 4:30, and somehow there's NFL football on, and that's because well, it seems that the NFL is coddling the Ravens. This was supposed to be a game played 6 days ago on Thanksgiving, the nightcap, the game that everybody was excited for. Got pushed to Sunday, got pushed to Monday, got pushed to Tuesday, got pushed now till Wednesday. They are playing the game, so it is finally happening. But it seems to me that the NFL is coddling certain teams, and I think this is the most egregious act of it, and it's absolutely mind-boggling because when you think about it, the Ravens are being forced to play the Steelers. The Steelers were screwed out of a bye week when they were forced to play the Titans, right? But let's remember the 49ers were injury-ridden and COVID-ridden, and they still had to go out and play the Ravens and got absolutely decimated. You know what I mean? They didn't move the game for the 49ers. They left it exactly where it was, and they got absolutely skull-fucked by the Ravens.
You could also use the Broncos.
The Broncos too, right? They didn't move the game for them, even though they had no quarterback. They let it ride out, and that, I think, is bullshit. And on top of that, you have the Saints, who were fined $500,000 and a seventh-round draft pick for having a maskless celebration in their locker room after beating somebody recently. But it just doesn't make any sense to me. How do the Ravens get out of this without any infraction whatsoever? And the Saints get fined $500,000, a seventh-round draft pick. Like an actual player that could have been in their organization will now not get that opportunity because of a maskless celebration. I think that's idiotic. It's dumb, and we need to quit coddling teams that we think might have a shot at the playoffs or should be in the playoffs because I think that's exactly what's happened.
But it's weird because the Saints are contenders.
Yeah, but they fucking hate the Saints. They've hated the Saints since Targetgate.
They do hate them.
What was it called? Was it Target Gate or was
Bounty
it
Gate? Bounty
Gate. They've hated the Saints since Bounty Gate. They could not give a fuck less about the Saints. You know what I mean? So we've got the Ravens now that are a playoff contender, Super Bowl contender maybe, and they're coddling them, and I think that that's fucking dumb.
I have a thoughts and prayer, or I have a random thought. We'll get to thoughts and prayers. I have a random thought. Okay.
Let's do it.
Do you know the husbands that say, "Happy wife, happy life"?
Sure. I've said that a time or two.
You might regret it.
Okay.
Hot take.
All right.
Those husbands all have man caves, and they always avoid their wife. And they probably deep down can't stand their wife.
I don't think that's necessarily true.
But can you see where I'm getting this idea?
Walk me through it a little bit more and before I say yes or no.
Like, Like he says that just to like, he says, oh, I got to keep the wife happy, happy wife, happy life. And then just goes right into his man cave to watch football for 12 straight hours and not communicate with his wife all weekend.
I think that the happy wife, happy life sentiment is said in like situations where like you're doing something that you don't want to fucking do. Like if you're at a kid's birthday party, or if you had to get up in the middle of the night and go get something from the store. Like let's say if your wife is pregnant and is craving something,
She's
and
pregnant.
she pregnant, yeah, and she sends you to the store for something, or or whatever it might be. You're doing something begrudgingly that you don't want to do for your wife. That's kind of where that sentiment comes in. I mean, that's how I've used it before. I would assume that's how actual married people use it. And
do you want me to get Phil and see if he's ever said it?
You could. We could pause for a second and grab Phil and see if he's ever told Amy, "Happy wife, happy life."
Hey, Red, come here. I need you. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Come on. 2 seconds.
This is fun. I'm trying to focus on what is happening in front of me too. It seems as though
here, put this in your ear. Here,
it seems as though Phil won't be coming. Maybe he will be coming. Cont, it looks like it's frozen. So maybe I will just host this podcast by myself. What's going on, guys?
What are you doing? Why is it froze? Okay, little technical difficulty, but we got him. We got him here. Phil, father, hello, the creator. Hello. I need to ask you, have you ever said happy wife, happy life?
Yes.
Do you love your wife?
Yes, I love my wife.
Okay, because we're having this conversation, and I don't want to keep you long because I know you've got pasta on the stove, and I don't want it to burn. But so just real quickly, have you when you say that, do you say it in like a begrudging manner? You're like doing something for your wife that you're like, I don't really want to be doing this, but I'm doing it because happy wife, happy life, right?
It's a partnership. It goes both ways. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah, it does. You got to work at it, but yeah, if you keep her happy, then I'm easy. So usually they're a little more touchier.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, this has been great input, and I appreciate it. Cub, basically, what I think is overall, I don't like this take.
It's just a take. I'm not a hot take guy.
That's it. But I was even through the technical difficulties. I was telling the people, I was like, I think the eventual point that I would have reached is like I don't think that the happy wife, happy life guy is inherently hates his wife.
No.
Because I mean, we have an example right here. Phil does not hate Amy.
We can,
but
he
said it,
and we do argue. So yeah,
But so that's part of any healthy relationship.
Yeah.
Well, sir, thank you.
Oh, no.
That's all we needed.
Thank you.
Thanks, Phil.
And that was Phil. That was two parents on one podcast. You'll find out later.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right, we're moving through here. That was random thought.
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers for O.J.
Simpson. So O.J., as always, he doesn't tweet. He puts out videos on Twitter.
Hey, Twitter world, it's yours.
Hey, Twitter world, it's yours truly. And I think it's probably the worst possible day for him to put out a tweet on Thanksgiving.
Maybe, or on the anniversary of his ex-wife's death.
And Goldman. The comments, ruthless.
Yeah, they were. Well, you sent me the tweet and you were like, read through the comments on this. And it was like him saying like, happy Thanksgiving. I'll be watching football. I'm upset that the Steelers aren't playing. And the comments were like, oh yeah, carving up that turkey just like your wife.
It's like, they're like, can you suggest a good knife to cut up this white meat?
Yeah. Somebody else said, why aren't you wearing gloves when you golf?
They're so bad.
That just people laying into poor OJ.
And the thing is, he has to see them.
You know what's funny is we feel bad for OJ. We feel bad for OJ. Like that is like full circle. Like,
I feel bad for Nicole and Ron Goldberg.
Oh my God, that is awesome. Yeah. But it's kind of like Oh man, it's kind of like, if you've ever seen one of those movies, like a shitty sequel where like in the first movie, like there was the good guy and the bad guy, and in the sequel, the good guy and the bad guy have aged considerably, and you almost feel bad for the bad guy because he's old now. You know what I mean? It's kind of similar with OJ. Is like, we feel bad now because he's old, and really, you and I never knew him as a Pro Bowl running back or a
We knew him as
possible,
a murderer.
but we weren't alive for the trial. We just knew that OJ's in jail, and now OJ's out and he makes cool Twitter videos.
What's the Batman thing where it's like, you live long enough to be
You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
flips
it.
It's been
You
so
either
flipped.
the inverse of that is you go to jail a villain and come out a hero, and that's how that works. Okay,
Struggle bus.
we're moving right along. Struggle bus. I'll start. Over the weekend, obviously the Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. fight happened. One of the undercards of that, as we probably all know, Jake Paul, Nate Robinson, and Nate Robinson is riding the struggle bus. I mean, just absolutely obliterated. It was comical. It was scary a little bit too, because I think it was a little irresponsible to let Nate Robinson get in the ring knowing how bad he looked. Like, somebody should have checked in on his camp and realized, oh, he's not ready to fight people. He's not ready to do that yet. Because, I mean, if you watched it, he was lunging into jabs. He was leaving himself really exposed. And, I mean, 3 times in 2 rounds, Jake Paul knocked him down. And the last time was a ruthless knockout where he was down for a couple seconds. So I think the memes coming off of this have been fucking hilarious. There's a challenge going around the internet right now called the Nate Robinson challenge, where I guess you just lay down on the ground and somebody takes a picture of you, which is, it seems to be.
Do it.
I think I could probably do that. I think Uncle Frank even could do that. Shout out to Uncle Frank if you remember that segment.
I came up with some pretty good ones. The memes.
Yeah. But even further than that, you have the meme of Robinson lying on it, the photo, but then people are recreating it, and that's the challenge. You just pick a place and you sprawl out like you just got knocked out. It was hilarious. By the way, while we're on the subject, the Mike Tyson fight ending in a draw is a fucking crime.
We all agree with that. No one's disagreeing with that.
But money grab. So I digress.
My struggle bus is Scottie Pippen Jr.
Okay.
So his mother, Larsa Pippen,
Yeah.
has gone from cheating on Scottie with Future
Hendricks.
getting back with Scottie, cheating on him with Future again, and she is now with Malik Beasley of the Minnesota Timberwolves.
What the fuck is what is up with Larsa?
Hey, also, thoughts and prayers. Scottie Pippen Jr.
Hey, thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers. Poor Scottie, both of them. Poor fucking
Scottie Jr.'s just trying to ball out at Vandy and try to be like his dad, and his mom's over here sleeping with every D, B, C celebrity there is. Larsa, what are you doing with that crap name, first of all?
Hey, what you doing?
Hey,
all right, let's get into Fake Taxi real quick. I'll go first because it relates to the Nate Robinson fight. Fake Taxi is definitely Snoop Dogg this week. If you watch the fights, you know his commentary was just fucking amazing, off the chain. People are calling for him to do more commentary, more play-by-play, more color commentary, whatever it is. They want him to do more, and I agree. We got to figure out a way for Snoop Dogg to get on the mic more, because it was fucking awesome. I mean, Nate Robinson got knocked out, and he went, "Oh Lord, who's doing that? Who's doing that?"
If there's ever like a potion, whatever, that just gives someone eternal life, I believe humankind or the human race will agree Snoop Dogg deserves it.
They might choose Betty White on some stupid shit first.
Don't you dare slander my wife like that.
No, Betty White, and trust me, I don't wish ill on Miss White, but Betty White, I think, is slightly overplayed. She had her day in the sun. She is really, really funny. But like recently,
Where you at, Betty? Where you at?
recently she's been in hiding. Even at 97, I don't think she doesn't know she's lost a step. She's lost a step in her old age. But Snoop Dogg would be a good one for the Eternal Life Potion. But yeah, Fake Taxi, Snoop Dogg's commentary.
All right, Fake Taxi. It's us, motherfuckers.
It's fucking us. We fuck hard this week, man. Man, check out these fucking hoodies. Check out these hoodies.
It's us. We don't need to say anything else. It's us, motherfuckers.
It's us. And again, just real quick, if you want one, we have plenty for you to buy.
Just no smalls.
No smalls, because what you doing? $45. You can Venmo myself. You can Venmo Cub. Whoever your favorite call boy is, you can Venmo them, and we'll split it evenly. So either way, we get our coin. But we have all sizes except for small, because fuck that. And let us know. Like I said, you can DM us, and then we'll go from there. But $45 for a hoodie. Cub, let's get into the big part of the show, and then we'll get to the interview with Mason Brooks. This is Tinder bios. Only one today. I'll let you go first. I'll wrap up the show.
All right, this is Kristen. It's just her butt cheeks. She's 25. Cabin keeper, mistress at the creamery. Group of spunky 20-something looking. Hold up. Group of spunky 20-somethings looking for a great time on their weekend retreat. Group play encouraged but not required. DTF.
Wait, so is this a group Tinder page?
I mean, it's literally just a butt cheek.
Okay, so we've seen the joint Tinder pages where it's maybe two girls or a couple or whatever,
maybe a
searching, and maybe a cup. Maybe they're searching for a cup. Maybe they're searching for a
cub,
a gentleman, right? To service their needs. But this is different. This is group play.
But the thing that threw me off was I thought she was like saying a group of 20-year-olds, but the some things threw me off. This is why I couldn't read it. But group play is encouraged but not required. So if you're not,
it's kind of like it's confusing, because it's like, is it a group of 28-year-olds or is it a group of 28-year-olds?
Yeah, but the thing is, like, if you're not into orgies, it's not required. So you may get Kristen, who's just the 25-year-old. You don't get to hear
who's just the butt cheeks.
Just cheeks.
Right, just the butt cheeks.
So Kristen with the cheeks, how your friends looking? I got a cute friend.
So what I'm hearing is Cub wants to do an orgy with you.
My number is 815.
Okay, no free ads. I've got Nikki. She's 22. I have Nikki, and then I've got Nikki. 22. My name is Ashley, not Nikki, which makes
hot. She sounds hot already.
Makes complete sense for this app. My name is Ashley, not Nikki. Re-downloaded this app yet again out of boredom. Will probably delete again in a few days due to lack of interest. 5'5" and curvy for those who have body type preferences. I work in a bar. If you don't tip 20%, we aren't going to get along. Also, if you figure out where I work and come in to just see me, that's creepy. And I'm going to cuss you out. Feel like I shouldn't have to address that, but here we are. Yes, I'm a bitch, but I'm a funny bitch. We know the standards. We know the standards. We can do this with Mish. Maybe her name is Ashley Nicole, but either way, with Ashley or Nikki or whatever her name is, being that she called herself funny and she's also begging for tips on Tinder, we can just go ahead, crumple that one up, and watch Tony Reali that bitch. So I'm cool. I'm cool without that.
Insert Magic Johnson.
Of course, we always love user-generated content. So if you're on Tinder or if somebody you love is on Tinder, Screenshot the creepy shit you see. Screenshot the awkward shit that you see. Send it to us. We want to read what you guys think is funny. And of course, we're going to get those on the show. To wrap up, make sure you follow us at Call Podcast. Get your hoodies. DM us on Twitter. I'm Sauce Sartori. You can always just look up Cub Wood on Twitter. That'll pop up. But enough of us. Let's get to the interview with Mason Brooks, our good friend from Western Kentucky.
Woo, 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 woo. And now welcoming on from Western Kentucky, Mason Brooks. Mason, hey, it's a long time coming. We're glad you're here.
Happy to be here. On behalf of the thick or maybe fitter, thick athletes, it's good to be here for sure.
Well, and something Cub forgot to mention, a friend of ours, a good friend of ours, we're so excited to finally have you on the show, man, because it really has been a long time coming. But if we were to line up all of the offensive linemen from Western Kentucky in a row, it would look a little suspect. So we got to space them out a little bit and make sure that everybody gets their love. And this is our way of giving you your love. But we're super psyched to have you, man.
I'm happy to be here.
Hey, fun fact. Mason's the first person to recognize us in Bowling Green.
Yes, that is 100% true. It is 100% true. And it was the craziest shit, too, because we were at a get-together. This is pre-COVID.
Yes,
so social distancing did not exist. You could quite literally kiss somebody in public, and it wouldn't be frowned upon. But Mason comes up to us in a get-together, and it's like, you guys are the podcast guys, right? Which is good enough for us.
No, he said missed call. Because I had asked him twice. I said, you said what you said, right? And he did.
Yeah,
Something along the lines of these guys do podcasts. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, well, and then, that's something that we talked about in our I guess our exit interview from Bowling Green the first time was like, a lot of the guys, and it's you mostly, but when we first went down there was a lot of the guys made us feel comfortable. Like we didn't know anybody. We knew Tyler and that was it. And we're hanging around with giants essentially. And you showed up, made us feel comfortable. And that's kind of where the friendship, I suppose, started.
I mean, definitely like a family deal, kind of Whit brings me along. You guys show up. I actually was scared to call which one y'all, I didn't know y'all's names. I knew y'all's voices apart, but I didn't know really put faces. So actually, I would say you look a little bit more like a bear, story, but so I thought you were a Cub at first because I see this little short, guy with a Hawaiian shirt, right? No way, that guy's the bear, right? He's got to be like the goofy guy, right? And then turns out, name to face, I was actually wrong. So
it's quite opposite. It's quite opposite.
Right.
Well, and you should note for today's episode, that's not Cub.
No.
This is Cub from the Keys. He is on vacation, and this is a different Cub altogether.
Vacay Cub.
Yeah. Cub from the Keys. Okay, so let's jump into this. I think maybe one of the best places to start is obviously we know you from being on the Western Kentucky football team, but one of our good friends, Tyler, who is, I assume, one of your good friends as well, you guys got to be close. Let's start off nice. What's something that he's taught you about playing football that maybe you didn't know before or you knew before and he reshaped how you thought about it? What's something nice you can say about Tyler?
Tyler is like the CEO of poise, man. Like in terms of when I came in, I was all over the place. And Tyler's a pretty steady guy. I mean, y'all know Tyler. He's you get the same Tyler every time. And to be like all over the place. And I came in, actually, my first start was next to Tyler. And I was just scattered all over the place. And Tyler was so calm. And I kept looking over at him like, I don't know what to do here. He would tell himself what to do. He would tell me what to do. And then we'd snap the ball. So it's kind of like Tyler was playing left tackle and left guard. Shout out to Tyler for multiple positions there. Can't play anything. But Tyler's really like a rock of a player, just a good leader, a good decision maker. He's just the epitome of like a classic, true O-lineman. And so to be able to play next to that early, like really early in my career when I was just a scattery, jumpy deer, was sweet. So Tyler's like always been the rock and is always just the rock of this O-line or one of the rocks. I mean, those three interior guys are all just absolutely solid. So for me, definitely the rock. Also, you know, the man is a Star Wars aficionado, which I don't know if you guys know, but I also dabble in the Star Wars arts. Not quite to the point of buying lightsabers like they do, but I do like my Star Wars. So there was a real big connection over that off rip. So.
Okay, so Mandalorian, are you a fan?
Massive fan. We watched it at Tyler's actually this past week, and you know, some guys that are there don't really know what's going on, and that might piss me and Tyler off a little bit. But we lay the law. You know, we let them know how we feel about Star Wars. So.
Well, this season of The Mandalorian definitely has, and there's no free ads, but like it's a phenomenal show. And if you are a Star Wars fan at all, you should be watching this. Baby Yoda finally got a name, Grogu. Grogu is Baby Yoda's name, which is hilarious because like, you know, I'll watch it in the living room or wherever, and I live with my grandma. My grandma's out there. She goes, "Wait, I thought it was Yoda. I thought it was a Yoda." I'm like, well. The thing is, Yoda was just that one thing's name. We don't know what their species is, but his name was Yoda. So not all of them can be Yoda. So that one's Grogu. And she goes, uh-huh. So Yoda Grogu. Yeah, sure. Yoda Grogu.
I'm with Grandma on this one.
Yoda Grogu.
I feel like you either know what's going on or you're just totally lost. Just enjoying
I'll just sit back and let you guys nerd out. It's okay.
That can tend to happen on these podcasts, Mason. Like a couple of times.
Sauce will talk about like superheroes and like stuff like Marvel stuff, and I'll just be like, okay.
Go right into vacay code mode, huh? Just want to be somewhere, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so you talk, and we'll get back to the Tyler question because I want you to throw him under the bus a little bit too. But you bring up something that I wanted to talk about, and the fact that you've gone from right to left, switching back from side to side. What is the biggest difference? How hard is that? Because I feel like a lot of people, maybe novice football fans, have this idea in their head that, oh, it's easy. You just plug and play, and it's okay. Like sometimes you'll have a tackle play guard, and it's whatever. But that's not the case.
Well, the one thing I've learned most now about playing both in college is like how different right and left actually are. I mean, in high school, I think it's a little bit easier. I swung in high school. I played right and left. And obviously there's the, you know, the age old.
Swung, huh?
I swung. Doing both. Anything but interior as of now. So can't snap quite yet. But the one thing in high school, you know, and you hear the Michael Orr, whatever, the blind side, right? That's the general kind of corny shtick, right? That the left tackle is more of a pass pro guy, but realizing really how run heavy the right side is, and that a lot of runs go right, and left is more of a pro position, really shows, at least me, I've learned this year that there really are very different positions. And props to Cole. You know, Cole's a goon in the pro. I mean, I think he's a goon in the run too, but pro is definitely his piece de resistance.
It's okay. It's okay.
French is not my first language. But the onus on running is much more of a big deal at right. And so just learning how to, you know, really put power in. I've had to put on some more poundage. So they are, you know, kind of different spots of the same.
I saw you, all the weight you've gained over your time at WK. You came in little skinny little thing.
You know, just a smooth 245, you know, playing tackle.
I used to weigh 245.
Not really like the heaviest guy, maybe the lightest guy in college, but
you're also 6'6".
Kind of felt like a stick bug, you know, from
Bugs Life.
Yeah. And I am built like the caterpillar.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, I am a beautiful butterfly. That is me. So you go from 245 to like 305, right? Which is a huge jump in weight.
Massive.
Yeah, which obviously so that you can manhandle people in the running game. So when we talk about running the ball at Western this year, you guys have Pigram as your quarterback, who is more of a scrambler, likes to get outside the pocket, as somebody who is run-oriented as a right tackle, or at least playing that position, being more run-oriented, how does that affect the way that you play the game as a tackle?
I think, and I learned it early, probably right at the Louisville game. I remember, we hadn't really gotten Piggy in the spring. We got him in the fall, so there was still kind of a mesh to be had. But I remember there was one play where I pro'd for probably 3 or 4 seconds, and I was like, ball's got to be out. And so I'm moving my guy to the right, and out of the corner of my eye, I see Piggy hauling tail right behind me, and I was like, all right, turn back around. I ended up pass proing for probably 8 or 9 seconds, and he was down the field gone. So I think it's totally changed, like, how I think about pro. Usually it's like 1, 2, 3 out, and now it's like, where's Piggy at? How can I help? I think more like I'm looking downfield all the time. I'm trying to prolong plays, because that's what Piggy does. I mean, Piggy's kind of that gadget guy that can just go and make plays out of nothing. And that's what's cool about having that quarterback, but that's also what can be stressful, when you think the play's over, Piggy's out doing something crazy, gaining yards. And it's been interesting to play for a quarterback like that, and kind of always exciting, always on your toes.
How do you prepare for a guy like having a quarterback like Piggy? Because you don't know when he's going to go. You don't know where he's at, and he's on the smaller side, so it's difficult for him and you guys as well.
I mean, the catch about it is I don't really think there was a way to prepare. All throughout my career, I've had mainly pocket guys, and so it's usually been run the hoop, have a kind of an idea of where my quarterback is, and with Piggy's speed and just what he brings to the table has been totally different. So I think it's been almost a trial by fire deal. Like I said, pretty much from Louisville on, I realized I was going to have to change different aspects of my game. Not really change, but maybe crank up the intensity in a lot of areas where I could give him time and I could give him the ability to do what he does best, which is, make plays out of thin air. So it's been fun. I think Coach Hamby compared him a little Patty Mahomes-esque from Texas Tech, us Texas boys, but just the different challenges and opportunities that come with a scramble quarterback like that.
Yeah, it definitely makes you more of an improv guy on the line when you have somebody that's scrambling and running around and extending plays and doing good stuff for your offense. I'm interested, and it's been something that I've gotten away from, but something that I want to investigate a little bit more is the use of knee braces. Now, if I remember correctly, knee braces at Western Kentucky are a mandatory thing.
Mandatory, for sure, yeah.
So I'll ask, if you were at a different university that didn't require them, would you wear them?
For safety goes, the legal answer, yes. I want to be safe. As far as knee mobility goes, probably not. They do hinder your knees. A lot of guys don't like them. I mean, I'm so used to them at this point, on or off, really whatever. But I definitely feel faster. I don't feel like RoboCop when I have them off. But my ACLs also might be quaking in their boots a little bit as I run around recklessly. So give and take. I know some guys have different opinions on the knee brace. It's a hot topic, a hot 2020 take there for you. Neutral. That's my honest opinion.
And on the fence.
Okay. That's a great political answer.
Yeah.
Maybe you should run for office in Texas or wherever, right? Because celebrity politicians seem to be all the rage nowadays. So that's interesting, though, that you bring up that like mobility and stuff is hindered, because the reason that I bring it up is kind of a joke. Like, I think that they just look cool. I think you look kind of like you've seen some shit if you're wearing knee braces. You know what I mean? But it's interesting you bring that up, that it hinders mobility, because I haven't heard that from anybody. And maybe it's because we haven't talked to a tackle who wears them, but you have to do a little bit more of that side-to-side movement, whereas the guards might be more of a straightforward.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think it's really a preference deal. You'll see tackles with them on and or off. As far as sitting your stance, I mean, it kind of give you it's like a chair, for your knees. That's
the catcher's pad.
Okay.
The catcher's pads.
like a bar stool for your knees. But so in that sense, you know, I like them because, you know, I can chill out on them, but maybe not the best for just running around.
Sauce is really intrigued by them because he wants his own pair, and then he wants to put some on his elbows because then he's basically invincible.
Just no injury. I'll tell you what, in high school, we didn't have custom fitted ones. And I was, like we said, I think it was 235 playing tackle my junior year. So basically like a power forward, maybe playing James Wiseman out there, you know, duking it up at tackle.
Yep.
But I didn't have any fitted knee braces for tiny guys. So I was wearing some gigantic clunky knee braces. And the first time I got checked in, I was running out on the field, and the little, the interior pad, you know, the little metal part that bends, they got caught on each other, which is sweet because it looks like you've been hit with like a boomerang because you just eat it. So, you know, running out there, I'm excited, I'm nervous. My first varsity game, it's like 1, 2, 3, sniper, just clean fell on my face, in front of the student section, all my coaches. So love-hate relationship there with the old knee braces. For me.
So early on trauma might be the real reason why you don't like them.
Little knee brace PTSD, if you will.
Interesting. But now you're 305 and they feel good.
Oh, I filled them out, you could say. You know, I really come to my own in this place.
I got to ask about the weight transformation because, like, you went to WKU weighing, what, 245 plus? Then your parents probably saw you a couple months later and were like, holy crap, that's our son.
He's eaten a lot of cookout.
Zaxby's really went to his legs. Holy crap.
No, I think coming home the first time, it was like, dude, like my friends were like, dude, you're fat. You're fat. I'm like, guys, I know. Yeah, I know. I am fat now. It was good because I went from looking like a skeleton, like a little, you know, slender man.
Yeah.
Call me Big Bird in high school, to, you know, really filled out my frame a little bit more. But I fluctuated. I lost a bunch of weight after so I was at right about 295, 285 my freshman year. I got mono, so I lost all that weight again, back down to 250, cranked it back up again. So my body is just gone from fat to skinny to fat to skinny. So we're like a water balloon. Just fill me up with cookout, release the cookout, do what you want, you know. So
hey, Mason, congrats on making out with that chick.
Hey, man, it was not worth it. It's not worth it.
Do you remember when mono was the scariest disease you could get?
Yes. Now, you know, now people are like, you got mono.
Dude, let's make out.
They're like, that's pussy shit. What about Ebola, coronavirus? You're fucking mono? Suck it up. Get to work.
Let me punch you in the gut. See how gritty you are.
Okay, so Big Bird was a nickname, but allegedly also so is Frank.
Oh, man. Word travel.
How do we get Frank out of Mason?
Yeah.
So I started calling Seth Jost Sleuth. I don't know why, you know, just because Seth, Sleuth, he's a smart detective.
It rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, right. And then I think Seth started calling me Frankenstein, and then Franklin, and then Frank. And I think everyone was just like, okay, Frank. So now I'd say probably all the old guys call me Frank with no backstory, no.
Now hold on a second. I take up offense with you calling them old guys. Yeah. I take up high offense with that.
We're older than them.
Here's the thing.
The veterans,
that's even worse.
Aficionados.
Hold on, we're getting closer to the right word. Because here's the thing. So I am still in college working on my bachelor's degree, and I am 24. Let's not talk about that, but let's focus on the fact that I work at the radio station, and a lot of the younger kids there call me dad because I'm old to them. 24.
He's also dating their moms.
I'm also dating their moms.
He does yoga with them.
Cougar Hunter.
That's the name of my slow pitch softball team is the Cougar Hunters.
There you go.
Okay. Working through a couple things. We brought up good things about Tyler, who is part of our Thick Athlete Society.
Mhm.
Now let's get to some not necessarily bad stuff, but let's throw him under the bus. What do you got? Let's get some dirt.
Rabbits. I think my only qualm with Tyler is rabbits. Just because I've never been a big, small gerbil to small mammal kind of guy. So the amount of rabbits is,
Touchy subject.
Rest in peace to his rabbits.
R.I.P. Oreo.
R.I.P. Oreo.
Eeyore.
Eeyore, my bad. Damn it. I'm sorry. Sorry, Tyler.
That's a bad omen, Cub.
Way to go, Cub.
Hey, this is not as bad as when I got what's his face being dead. That's the worst
Jerry
thing.
Krause. Do you know who Jerry Krause is?
No. I
He
don't.
was the general manager that put the Michael Jordan Bulls together.
Oh yeah.
And during the Jordan series, Cub was like, I don't understand why they don't have Jerry Krause in the doc. And Tyler and I had to let him know it's because Jerry Krause is fucking dead.
That's slow there.
Not a good day in journalism.
But I agree.
Not really been my shtick. However, his bunnies are all really sweet. He did say not to touch one of them because they bite. But that whole house has like a alarming amount of small mammals. Seth's got the ferrets going, and Chow's got a hamster now. So it's like a petting zoo when I go over to the establishment over there.
That's the thing. And, the first time I met Tyler, I was astounded at the fact that such a large man had two small, fluffy bunnies as a pet like that. And it
doesn't fit, scary, how scary Tyler looks. He looks like he, is in a biker gang.
Eats nails for breakfast.
I'll meet my rabbit Oreo, but it's like the ultimate big, thick athlete, cuddly guy, big, scary guy.
It shows you how soft his heart is compared to his hard exterior. That's his insides. That's how nice he is inside. Like, let me get a bunny to show people I'm sweet. I'm not going to say much because Tyler's twice my size and he could break me in half. I'm not going to be that guy in the pod. Sauce, on the other hand, has a quick first step. Well, I digress.
He still punches the shit out of me every time I see him.
I've seen that, man. I don't know how you're still breathing. You must have cracked a rib or something.
Hey, man.
I used to have to go against Tyler in hitting drills. Oh, I'd pray for the day. Dude's a beast.
Mason,
what do hitting drills consist of?
Usually we'll at the beginning of practice we'll warm up, just some hits to the chest, some pro, and if I ever got matched up with Tyler, I would tighten the shoulder pads up. It's like getting rock salt in the lungs, really gets you going.
Now Mason, it's funny you say that because in high school, I used to have to be deep prep for Tyler.
Wow. This was when you were more.
I was like 215. I was like 215 then.
Yeah, more widthly.
Yes.
Engaged.
So there was one time after practice, we were both in the locker room, and I'm like, Tyler, look what you did this whole week. Shoulders purple.
And you a tattoo.
That's something else. He's good at tattoos. He tattoos himself.
The man can do it all. What can he not do?
Oh my God, this is great. This is
He
this
can't
is part
find
of the
poop
reason.
leak. He can't find poop leak.
Hey, you probably go to the desert.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a Texas boy, born and raised.
Born and raised. They disrespect my city because we're a little bit out there on the weird side. Some would say California's cousin. I would say California's moving to our city, kind of mixing up the vibe, but definitely a more liberal city. But I'm Texan through and through. I've killed a deer. I'd like to think of myself as rather Texan. I eat Whataburger on the weekly. I have a cowboy hat. I have boots. So as far as my Texas card goes, it's not in here, but I've applied for it. So we'll see.
Okay.
View my resume.
This is great. Okay, you set us up for so many different questions. I don't know which way to go.
I can start.
Go ahead, Cub.
The Whataburger, does the hype meet the flavor, or is this just like the only chain you guys have out there that's worthy of like talking about?
Hold on, he's going to get, I would assume, cold Whataburger from the fridge.
Which sounds absolutely disgusting. This is such a thick thing to do.
Got to ship in the ketchup. I get it.
They have their own ketchup?
I get it in by the back. This would be the spicy ketchup. They throw the the jalapeno in there for the Texans.
Why does
Whataburger,
Why does it still have bubble wrap on it?
I don't know. I'm a purist, you know. I like to know that it got shipped in.
Yeah.
It's safe in my fridge.
Yeah.
The shipping box is actually still in the fridge. You just had to pull it out.
The thing about Whataburger is the wide array of options. You can go there at 11 o'clock and get a taquito, a breakfast burrito, a honey butter chicken biscuit. You can go there and get a cheeseburger, a chicken strip sandwich. And it's always a lot of food. Texans, we don't really do the whole, no disrespect to In-N-Out, but it's like eating like a little slider. Texans, we go all out. It's bigger in Texas. So
Yeah.
I think, go ahead. Cub looks like he's about to die.
What a burger just
vinegar strokes right now.
What a burger just sounds like cookout.
Oh,
My God.
give me an aneurysm. Whataburger, Cookout is like Whataburger's nephew. Okay, Whataburger is everything that Cookout lacks. It's not too greasy. The fries, the rings. It's a burger purist spot, if you will. It's the best fast food I think you can get.
Like
And I
A&W?
know-
Like A&W?
I've never been to A&W actually,
It's not like A&W.
That's why I just wanted to see what he would say.
It's not
but
like
I'm sure
A&W.
it's better. Other than Portillo's, I haven't been to Portillo's, so don't burn me. I know
Overrated.
Oh my God. Oh, like Jesus Christ, Cub. Are you just on a fucking mission from God
trying
to
to
piss
stir the
everybody the fuck off today?
It's overrated. And I had it
Jesus
yesterday.
Christ.
Wits
Fucking
swears by it.
loser.
It's the best.
What'd you say?
So Witt swears by it. He says it's better than, I don't know. See, I got the boys all Whataburger when we went to Arkansas, actually. They had one like right by the hotel. So I shipped in a bunch of Whataburger. It was cold, and I feel like the boys are biased. Like, I talk about it all the time. So I feel like sometimes they're just like, shut up. So I knew they were going to be very critical of my Whataburger.
No,
but
that's the worst. That's the worst, Mason. When you hype up some food that you absolutely love with your whole heart, and then you take your friends that you've been talking about for months, and they get it, and they're like, "You really? This is it?"
Just ruins. I feel like it builds such a high, price or whatever you call it, high standard.
Expectation.
Yeah. And they're like, this is just, but it's truly what I long for. As soon as I drive home, cool 13 hours, just cruising through the middle of nowhere, Arkansas. But
Arkansas.
whether it's the plains or what, but as soon as I get in, I don't even know where it is, middle of nowhere, Texas. It's just like flat, dark for an hour. There's a Whataburger right on the border of like Texarkana. And I stop and I usually get a burger, a chicken strip sandwich, a honey butter chicken biscuit, fries, and onion rings.
Because he can.
Because I'm thick, man. I didn't get 300 by accident,
Mason, did you always eat that much, even when you were this Big Bird character?
Back in my past life.
Yeah.
No, I definitely always ate that much. I just didn't always like have the opportunity. Like they just have more resources here. But I have a crazy metabolism. I got it tested, and I think my resting metabolism is like 3,900 calories a day or 3,800 calories a day, just chilling. And so I think to pack on like poundage, in my heyday here, I was eating fresh 3 times a day, smoothies and dinner. I was racking like 8,000 calories a day. And you would be surprised. The worst part of that is the pooping.
Huh.
You hear me?
Let's talk about it. Let's dive into this.
A day would you say you poop?
Twice.
When I was a big boy, like 7. It was
Okay.
like
What the fuck?
It was like 5, dude. It was like 5 a
That's
day.
a sort of bowel issue. That you might need to go to a doctor there.
Oh, I'm
That's-
fine
Yeah.
now. I'm fine now.
I would say twice.
twice.
Once when you wake up, like you're all backed up, you wake up, you drop your morning deuce, and then, maybe towards the middle of the day, post-workout, you've worked out real hard, your body's ready to excrete of the dark matter within you. That's when that second poop comes in.
See, I'm a 1 to 2 poop a day, depending on how I feel in the morning, but I'm definitely dropping a poop at night. But when I was on this fresh smoothie plan, it was like, poop after every meal, or maybe poop before meals to make room for the meal, to poop the meal out after. And when in doubt, we're talking probably 5 or 6 times a day.
Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6.
I'm just tallying these down while he's talking.
But that was probably the biggest annoyance, just making room for more food to burn, to gain a couple pounds a week. So it was not a time I would want to relive. I enjoy being a thick boy now and kind of maintaining thickness. But the road to obesity was one paved in poops, I'll say, and paved in shakes and fresh food company. So.
We talked about poop. We talked about poop again, Sauce. Remember last time we talked about poop?
It's poop again. No, I don't.
Do farts push the poop out?
That's right. Yeah, that was a heated debate. Let me get into these Texas questions, though, because I've got a couple of them that I feel like have to be asked.
Hey, Mom. I'm doing a podcast now.
Mason's on the phone with his mom.
All right. Okay, we're good. That was
Okay. All right. That was Mason's mom. All right.
Featuring his mom.
Yeah. So Texas is kind of a stereotyped place, right? Everybody's a cowboy. Everybody rides horses, etc. Right? What is the worst Texas stereotype? Like, what is the most inaccurate Texas stereotype in your opinion?
The horses, man. Why does everyone think that we ride horses? Like, I came from the burbs of the burbs, and I think it's worse when you're like visiting. Like, I went to California when I was 16, I think, and we were at the airport, and some people saw we came from Texas. Did you guys ride your horses to the airport? No. We rode the 2001 Yukon XL Tahoe to the airport, buddy. So
right.
Definitely the horses are probably the hillbilliness. I didn't grow up on a farm. I don't have any chickens. I grew up, with an in-ground basketball hoop. So do with that information what you will. And a Whataburger.
Dude, cool, bro. Let me come by in 10.
Lower it down to 7 and do a dunk contest. The whole block would come to my house, lower the hoop, and we just
yam on him. That's awesome. I was going to say the accent, right? Because everybody assumes that there's some kind of southern drawl that you get when you go to Texas. But you're from Austin, which is pretty much as Texas as you can get. And there really isn't any drawl for you. So
I'm like accentless. I think everyone up here has accents. Like the Kentucky accent is thick. The Chicago accent is thick. There really isn't like an Austin
His is
accent.
thick. His is thick.
It is, honestly. It's one of those, you can just tell. Chicago, deep dish pizza.
You know how thick my bones are.
Hey, I know a guy.
I know a guy, huh?
Italian draw,
Okay, all right. In Texas, if you don't worship God, you probably worship high school football. Was that the case at Cedar Point? Cedar Point?
Cedar Park.
Cedar Point is in Iowa.
A hill and a cedar is abundant in Texas, evidently. So.
Oh, interesting. The state wood of Texas is cedar, then.
I'm sure it's Cedar Park.
It's actually Cub. The wood is Cub. Sorry.
I get it.
Vacate Cub with a zinger.
So playing high school football in Texas, was it the stereotype that it is supposed to be for you, or was it different?
Oh, definitely. I played for a state championship team, 5A. I mean, below 6A, but we're still talking about high school game attendance of 9,000 to 10,000 people. So we had
this year.
Stadium, Gupton Stadium. You see Allen Stadium, stadiums like that where they just fill it up. I mean, for our rival games, you couldn't get a seat. I mean, and we're not even talking about Lake Travis, Westlake, schools like that where they'll poach tickets for $60. I mean, for a high school game.
I was just about to ask that.
It's insane. And I think, honestly, the biggest difference that I've found from up here is the like not necessarily the coaching, but just the structure of the programs. Like you hear about guys that are at programs where their coach might have another job or have to, because the school doesn't put that much value or it's not as important. But in Texas, it's life. I mean, we watch film. We had, 2 film sessions a day. We had a football period, lift clothes, walkthroughs. It just, we rode the schnazzy buses to playoff games, police escort. I mean, they did it all, buddy bags, all kinds of. So it just, and it's a bit, there's no two-way plan. I wish there was. I'd have loved to play some defense, but guys get cut. I mean, it's real. It's as real deal as advertised for sure.
It's almost like playing college ball before college ball.
Was just going to say that.
I like my coach, Carl Absek, the GOAT. He treats it like a college program. That's what it felt like. I mean, and of course, there's a big step up here, a lot more at stake. But in terms of doing more stuff, I mean, we did a lot for a high school program. I felt like we were well prepared. We won games. I mean, we beat the Tar. They're beating the Tar out of people this year. I mean, talking about beating a team 80-6. I mean, a good team, another 5A team. Like we rolled guys in high school. I only lost 2 games my whole high school career. So I mean, we don't mess around in Texas.
They say they do it bigger in Texas, and allegedly they do. Anytime you can drop 80 fucking points on somebody, Jesus Christ, that's demoralizing. Okay, Cub, do you have anything else before we move into thick stuff?
Yeah, I got to ask him something. What's up with your feet?
My feet.
Yeah.
Oh, God said, you know what? I'm going to make you 6'6". I'm going to make you hefty. I'm going to give you a decent face. I'm going to give you a full head of hair. And then I'm going to slap some natal bunions on your feet. I'm going to give you some bunions from birth. You hear bunions, you think old ladies, right? But you have like a 0.4% chance or 0.004% chance of being born with them. And God said, I gave you a lot, We'll throw you for a loop.
A bunion party.
I do rock the size 16, 4 extra wide. I'm not sponsored. Please sponsor me if I ever do make it big. Crocs. The greatest shoe ever. I can't wear slides because my feet don't fit, but I rock the Crocs every day. They air the bunions out. They give me enough coverage where people don't gawk at my feet. But I was not blessed in the feet department. I got some ugly feet. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
That's tremendous.
I think I sit on my bunion kind of in my stance. I kind of turn, because we have to cock your feet to the left or the right. I kind of sit on my, so I used to treat it as a hindrance. I've now turned my disability into an ability. So the bunion's what gives me my edge. I like to say.
What a comeback story. What if I told you a man with bunions would turn them into funyuns?
What if I told you a tall man who once hated his feet would soon figure out that he needed his feet?
Self-love, baby. Self-love.
This winter.
Yeah, a 30 for 30 classic. All right. So let's get into this last portion of the interview because it seems like the sun is going down very quickly wherever you're at.
He's in his closet.
And there he goes. We got a little light.
Just
all right.
open your fridge.
He was increasingly starting to look more and more like Darth Sidious. So thick stuff. You know the brand. You understand where we're going with this. Now you've put together a really great list of things for us to consider when thinking about giving you a bid. But in order to get in, we need you to do one thing for us. You have to add on to the thick commandments. You, as a large gentleman, should know that there is a certain code of conduct that you follow simply because you are the size that you are. And maybe for me, that is, I'm only allowed 2 layers of clothing. So if I do a hoodie, I can only have a coat on over it or a shirt on under it. And we've heard so many other things about what it is to be a thick guy. You, Mason, must now add on to the thick commandments in order to get a bid.
So when you say layers, why are you saying layers? I'm just curious. Is it a sweat deal for you?
It's a little bit of a sweat deal. It's a little bit of a sweat deal. Obviously, you don't want to schwitz through your clothes, right? Right. But at the same time, it's also, why are you fat? If you're going to need to bundle up so much that you need 3, 4, 5 layers,
an internal body heat kind of deal, huh?
Right. You might as well just shed the pounds and quit disrespecting the brand at that point. You know what I mean? I also think no gloves.
That's just for men in general. That's man
Unless
code.
you're doing like hard work. If you're wrangling cows or if you're doing something where you should probably have gloves on.
Is that a common? I mean, I'm from Texas, so I guess
I thought maybe that would strike a chord with you.
Yeah, like you're not supposed to, like, you can wear gloves when you ride your horse to the airport, but you can't wear gloves if it's cold outside.
Right. If you're just walking through the streets of, I don't know if you've ever been to a cold city, but if you're walking through the streets of a cold city, you shouldn't have gloves on.
It's a soft move. That's good to know, because maybe my respect in a cold city is now going to be garnered from that.
You got credit in the streets, son.
The thick commandment I would add is the sweet and salty commandment, if you will.
Oh.
I think that every meal
Get your pens out.
That every meal that I eat now must be accompanied with sweet and salty. One cannot just eat a meal without eating a dessert or maybe a thick drink like a milk or a milkshake, perhaps. So I would say that I at this point I can't even eat breakfast without like I got the crave right here, or a donut or some pancakes. But even lunch, a Snickers perhaps, a midday milkshake. For dinner, throw some tiramisu, cheesecake.
Oh, don't get me started.
Now, hold on a second, because let's say that somebody doesn't have the metabolism that Mason Brooks has. How are we, like, a guy like myself, who I don't burn 3,900 calories a day just sitting around, how am I going to put this to use? Because I can't have a milkshake at every meal, or else I'll just be too thick.
Right, and then that, I guess it shows the true fidelity to the thick community. I think ultimate thick people, they're unfazed. They can throw down a milkshake, and maybe for your thickness, it's a portion control. It's a portion control deal. So maybe you get the baby Frosty at Wendy's. The big Frosty, it's not your speed.
I'll leave it for you.
I'll take the extra large Frosty. But you got to have a sweet treat with every meal, and that's just where I'm at now. It's just part of rewarding myself for just downing 1,000 to 1,500 calories. I gotta.
Sauce, like he said he's gonna have a Snicker, like a king size Snicker for lunch. Maybe you just have a bag of fruit snacks.
There you go. Yeah.
That's only like 60 calories.
It's a by your pace kind of deal.
And then like for like breakfast, you just have like one of those salt and sweet granola bars.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. All right.
He wrote it down too.
I've come to my conclusion. Cub, I hope that you have too.
He knows where I'm going with this.
All right. Mason Brooks, 6'6", 305.
Floating the 3.0 to 305 range. 302 today. So
okay, we'll call it 30. We'll call it 305 for extra thickness.
Yeah, there we go.
Western Kentucky offensive tackle Mason Brooks. You get a bid, and here's what you have to know: if you're going to be in the society, first off, there's a general respect that you carry for all members of the society, right?
It's very serious.
It's just right? You know how to act. Cub isn't in the society, so you can treat him any way you want.
I'm the janitor.
But me, Tyler, Ted Larson, our president, you treat them with the utmost respect. Also, what comes with this is that from now on, the two of us will skull fuck anybody who threatens you on social media. If it's TikTok, if it's Instagram, if it's Twitter, we will skull fuck any of your enemies for you.
That's a tall, that's a nice addition. I like that.
We handle your light work.
Little spice on the club.
Hey,
the bonus.
And we could get the Shrub Samurai to beat somebody's ass for you in Bowling Green.
The Shrub Samurai is on call. He is our Mandalorian, if you will. We'll bring in either or. The bush battler. I can't remember. What else?
Oh my God.
The hedge heckler.
Oh my God. That's fucking awesome. Okay. So Mason, do you accept?
I do, with open arms. What a
Tremendous.
blessing to be with Thick Society.
Tremendous.
You will be
Awesome.
on the new graphic in March.
Let's go. As a thin man to a thick man, we've come a long way. From
What a
Birdman-
journey.
Who'd have thought? Not Big Bird.
Not
Big
me.
Bird.
Not Big Bird.
Not me. Okay. Let's wrap this up. Mason Brooks, tell everybody where they can find you if they want to follow you. Tell them where they can find you, and then we'll wrap up.
Hit up the IG. It's mason.brooks. The email. If you want to email me, maceb82@gmail.com. If you like CCing me on something. The Twitter is also maceb82. So, you can give me a follow, not give me a follow. Your choice. Up to you.
And Grace Tulovich, follow him back.
Please, please, the queen of tall women, Cub and me's holy grail, if you will.
I called her the glizzy goddess, and Sauce goes, "Who's the glizzy goddess?" I'm like, "It's between me and Mason."
All right. Before this turns into a Midwest goodbye and we end up on a complete other tangent, let's wrap this up. Mason Brooks, new member of the Thick Athletes Society. Thanks so much for coming on. We appreciate you, buddy. And well, if you guys get to play against Charlotte, good luck.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Y'all keep killing it with Missed Call. I mean, Tyler put us on, but we've stayed on because me and Joey and a lot of the other guys love what y'all do. And so, I know all the guys here really appreciate y'all. So appreciate it.
You guys are family. We love you guys.
Fantastical.
Fantastical. I see a guy. Sauce. That was just perfect. Don't mind the darkness. This was an all day.
Yeah. Funny because we did the interview first, then the segments, and now this just to wrap up the show. It might be kind of a mind fuck if you're watching on YouTube. Yeah, put the sunglasses back on. Cub from the Keys. Okay, we just wanted to wrap up and say thanks for watching episode 127 of the Missed Call Podcast. Of course, make sure that you follow us at Call Podcast on all social media. Subscribe, like, tell your friends and family about us on YouTube. And then, of course, we've got hoodies. If you want one, if you need one, whatever it is, $45, direct message us. We'll get you your hoodie for sure. And then lastly, of course, you can follow us, Sauce Sartori, on Instagram, Life of Sartori on Twitter, and Cub.
It's at 3COLBY on Instagram, and then Twitter. You know what to do. Just search Cubwood. You'll find it. It's one of one of a kind. Some try to imitate,
All right.
never duplicate.
Yeah, we got all the cliches in. All right. We're going to get out of here. Episode 127 of the Missed Call. We'll see you guys next week. Yeah, we'll see you guys later.
See you next week, dude.